Ready to cozy up your space this fall? Wisco Home Goods has just what you need. Hand-poured soy candles crafted in small batches, made to burn clean, and scented with the warm, comforting notes of the season. Stop by their shop at 4664 Cottage Grove Road on Madison's beautiful east side, or browse their fall collection online at wiscohomegoods.com. Shop local, breathe easy, feel good. All autumn long with Wisco Home Goods. This is CityCast Madison. I'm Bianca Martin, and here's what Madison's talking about. Before diving into today's delicious food conversation, I want to remind you that we are officially in our fall membership campaign. It is day 2, and I'm inviting you to support this podcast by joining CityCast Madison Neighbors at membership.citycast.fm. Why should you do it? Well, there are perks, exclusive member events that are super fun and educational and so cup-filling, ad-free podcasts, and a weekly newsletter email that's keeping you in the know of events in Madison. If those perks are not blowing your hair back, we're offering an exclusive Neighbors Make Madison tote bag, only available during this campaign. It's fashionable, it's functional, it also has webbed handles and some structure to make it sturdy, so it's the kind of tote bag you want. But really, you should support us and join as a neighbor if you like what we do and you believe life in Madison can and should be joyful. Joyful. Sure, a big part of our job is holding our city accountable and having honest conversations about what Madison gets wrong. But we're equally committed to celebrating what's truly great about life here, from new restaurants in our hamlet to chefs doing creative eats and competitions, winning James Beard Awards. I mean, there's so much fun and joy to be had just in our food scene alone. If you also believe in delighting in our city by discovering hidden gems, celebrating wins, and supporting local businesses, then CityCast Madison Neighbors is perfect for you. Our membership program is designed to help you engage more deeply with life in our city in a way that's easy and fun. And your membership keeps this daily conversation thriving so we can bring a little joy to all in Madison. So you can support this show for just $10 a month or $100 a year by going to membership.citycast.fm. Join our neighborhood. Become a CityCast Madison neighbor, y'all. Alrighty, on to the show. It's Thursday, so of course, it's time to dish on Madison's food scene. Joining me is the woman with her thumb on the pulse of it all, our friend, Cap Times food and culture editor, Lindsay Christians. Boom, 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 boom. Hey.
Hello.
Hello. It's so good to see you. It's so good to hear your voice. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. A lot of fun new stuff is opening up.
Yes, and you just dropped a roundup of a list of new spots in Madison for the Cap Times. Before we get into your piece and the who's and the where's of it all, are there any trends or surprises in the food scene that you came across in your reporting for this latest piece?
For sure. So I think in terms of like the type of spot that's opening, I think that there are like 8 coffee shops on this list. And we've talked before about like the proliferation of coffee shops. And I think that's probably connected to like, there's a new development, new apartment building going up. What do you want on your ground floor of your new apartment building? Coffee shop, right?
Wow. Housing and food right out the gate.
I mean, right?
Yeah.
There's going to be a new Collectivo on Williamson Street. There are new coffee shops downtown on State Street. We've got a new one on the west side. There's just lots of those. So that's a trend. I'm noticing Dubai chocolate, like as a flavor, kind of pop up a lot of places.
Ooh, what's that?
So Dubai chocolate is just basically milk chocolate and pistachio and like crunchy. So I've seen Dubai chocolate like as a chocolate bar, and it's got kind of like a fancy Kit Kat kind of. So you'll see like crepes with the Dubai chocolate as a flavor. I saw it like as was it a milkshake flavor or something like that, or a smoothie flavor, which I guess if it's a smoothie, it's a milkshake, right? If it's got chocolate in it. But I think that's been sort of popping up a lot. We've got some fun new food carts, and I always love seeing that. Some like new things that are Middle Eastern owned. So there's a new coffee shop, another coffee shop called Kamaria Yemeni Coffee Cafe. That's kind of cool. That's coming to the west side on Odana. There's a new coffee shop called Ellipse that's opening on State Street that also is Middle Eastern owned. So that's interesting, I think. I also think that it's kind of fun to see the places that are like switching over, where you see one kind of restaurant turn over into something else. So like Pig in a Fur Coat closing and becoming Alimentari the deli. Or like Novanta, it closed its fast casual pizzeria location over on University, and that's going to become Osteria Novella, So that those kinds of like switches. Mishki Peruvian just announced that it has closed its Monona location.
For good?
Yeah.
No!
I'm so sorry.
No, this is why we talk to you. I mean, many more reasons.
Yeah.
I've been wondering.
So I'm curious, looking at some of the openings and closings, we saw obviously Amara closed out at Hilldale, and then the Great Dane has now closed out at Hilldale, or is going to on November 8th, I think is their last day.
That felt big.
That felt really big, and I think it makes me wonder about how expensive it is to operate a restaurant or some kind of food business out of Hilldale, because you have these longstanding spots like Morimoto and Dumpling House, but then you also see that Gigi's Cupcakes has closed out there, and as we said, these larger, restaurants too.
They're starting to really eliminate the things that drew me over to that side of town. Gigi's Cupcakes.
I mean, I love Crescendo out there. There's some really lovely spots, I think, still at Hilldale. But I think it's interesting to think about, like, what does it cost to open a new restaurant now? Like in this age of tariffs and health insurance premiums changing and all these other costs that are related to opening a new restaurant. Like, how do you fill a big space like Amara had, So I'm curious about that. I'm curious to see like what's going to be going in.
Yeah. I remember, having an opportunity to chat with the owner, Josh Berkson, saying that he really tried hard and imagined there'd be more people from downtown Madison coming over to the west side and to enjoy that. But that just never quite came through the way that he imagined it. So yeah, that's something we'll be keeping our eye on that and talking to you about that more, Lindsay. Lindsay with the trends. Let's get into the new restaurants that you have in your article, and we're going to do it by geography around town. Just mentioning downtown, let's start there. In our September Guide episode earlier this month, our newsletter editor, Rob Thomas, said he was psyched to eat at the newly opened and long-awaited Baked Wings and Things. So what do we know about this new wing spot?
So that is a location that's been empty for like 10 years. I think it's literally a decade that it's just been sitting there. So Baked Wings and Things has opened. They're open late, like midnight, I think, weeknights, and like 2 a.m. on the weekends or something like that. And they're doing baked wings and things. So and things is like chicken sandwiches and smash burgers and salads, like with yummy fried chicken and things on them too. But, so Beck, I think, went and took photos for that when we did a feature earlier this summer about Baked Wings and Things.
Beck Hendrickson, your social media czar.
Yeah, she's fantastic. And she went and like got pictures of like things that they're doing in addition to the wings, although wings sound kind of great to me. They have a full bar, which is kind of cool, and open super late. It really does feel like a college kind of spot. But I'm just excited that it's like a fun-looking restaurant that's open late and it's downtown. I love it.
I'm trying to imagine Rob sitting in there with all the college students. He's like, goodness wings.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, more downtown, the folks behind the Globe have a new restaurant, which is exciting. Can you talk about this new spot that's coming in?
Yeah. So Asherwad is this new Indian restaurant. I think they do eventually want to incorporate some fusion stuff, but right now they're just starting with kind of Indian cuisine classics. So tikka masala, biryani, that kind of thing, tandoori chicken, things cooked in that naan, that super hot oven, the tandoori oven. I love naan. I could eat it every day. So that is delightful because the family behind the Globe also owns the Triangle Market. But the name Asherwad means blessing, which I really like. And the two restaurants, like the Globe and Asherwad, are like a couple blocks from each other. Like they're really close together. But I really love the idea of more delicious Indian food downtown.
Love that idea. I think early on, that was always when I didn't live in Madison, but was nearby, would come and we'd go to an Indian restaurant that was right on the square, So more the better. So staying on state, there's a new brunch spot and a new crepe and coffee shop. What can you tell us about these spots?
So Pink Flamingo is in the old sunroom spot on the upper level. above state, you know, they've got the second
Sunroom
level.
Cafe.
Yeah, which I went to a lot in college, actually, because they had
Me too.
like, yeah, solid breakfast, lunch kind of food. And it wasn't super heavy. And it was always sort of like bright and sunny in there. And now they've given it this kind of retro look. It's a lot of green and like a coral pink kind of color in there. They're doing a lot of breakfasty things. So French toast in lots of different flavors. They're doing some fun sandwiches. Ellipse, also in state, is kind of similar. They're doing crepes and they're doing like things served in skillets. So like everything comes out in a skillet, which I thought was kind of fun. They are doing the whole lineup of coffees, but I believe that they are owned by Middle Eastern women. And there's Turkish coffee on the menu and some other like kind of fun flavors of things. So we were talking earlier about Dubai chocolate, but there's also the Kinder Bueno and Ferrero Rocher like hazelnut chocolate flavors and things, which I thought was kind of fun. So very sweet.
Have you ever like gone hard on Ferrero Rochers? Like I had a Christmas where I was gifted one of those plastic containers of like 100 of them, and I basically ate them all, and I'm not the same. A little goes a long way.
Yeah, they're so good. I love them. It's such a classic flavor profile too, of like the hazelnut and the chocolate and the crunchy bits. And I feel like that's part of why people like the Dubai chocolate thing too, is it's the same kind of thing, but with pistachio. Kind of fun.
We're still downtown State Street, just off of State on West Gorham, is the newly opened Moon Bar. Love the name. They're in the former Danny's Pub location. What are they bringing to downtown?
So this was a fun interview. I interviewed Jeff Rude, who he owns a bunch of rental properties, like housing rental for college students downtown. And he was like, this opportunity came up to open a bar. And we thought, you know, why not? Let's try it. I think that their kids are like, they're grown. They're like in their early 20s. They're fourth generation Badgers. So have been going to UW for a minute. And their kids are college age. And so they're like, what do your friends want in a bar? Basically. And so Jeff was very much like, we are not trying to reinvent the wheel. Madison has a great bar scene. That's great. We're just going to keep doing that. So they're really trying to bring people in with music performances, live music, and DJs, I think, as well. And they're also doing a lot of happy hour specials and game day specials. And I think he mentioned that they want to do trivia. So they're just really trying to do the things, the experiences at a bar that would bring people there versus just like, I'm going to have a drink. But yeah, they opened in time for the very first Badger game at the end of August.
Oh my gosh. Funny enough, I was like, I'm kind of a fourth generation Badger. I skipped a generation, my mom. But before that, her mom and their dad like goes way back. But I'm like, were they Badgers in the early 1900s? Things that I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it is that season. So wishing them the best. That's exciting. Let's actually head over to the west side in the conversation because there are a couple new restaurants on Junction Road. Oh, Junction. What's caught your eye over there?
So there's a couple places that are right next to each other. Emerald Coffee Bakery and Gobi Hot Pot are like right next to each other, basically on the street. And it's fun. The Emerald is one of those coffee shops that's like got lots of light. It looks like those kind of garage doors that can roll up. And I don't know if they roll up or not, but they look like those kinds of garage doors. And they have an Instagram wall. A lot of these new coffee shops have the Instagram wall that's like all greenery, and sometimes it's got neon on it or like some fun script that says the name of the place. It's a cute little like bakery and cafe. They're doing matcha. They're doing fresh juices. They're doing breakfast burritos and empanadas and sandwiches. They've got like a chorizo toast. They've got a little kids menu with like grilled cheese on it, which I thought was very cute. And then right across the way from them is Gobi Hot Pot and Mongolian Grill, which does the hot pot thing. We've got some places in Madison doing hot pot, which is great, really fun, where you get to like cook your own like proteins and veggies in the hot broth. Always very fun.
Big hands-on.
Yeah, very hands-on. But the thing that I love is like we don't really have as many of these like Mongolian Grill type places that we used to like back in the early 2000s when I was in college. And that I just remember, like, when I was at Michigan State, my parents would come to visit and I would be like, let's go to the Mongolian barbecue place. And I was feeling so nostalgic, like, writing about this place. And I don't know if they ever, like, fully went away, this style of restaurant where, like, you choose your vegetables, you choose your protein, and you choose your sauce, like 1 or 2 sauces. They tell you not to overcomplicate it. And I always want to overcomplicate it, you know? But I had this, like, memory of my brother just putting 3 eggs and some cheese in his bowl and, like, make him scrambled eggs. And I was so embarrassed. But these are just fun places, I think, to go with your family. Everybody can get exactly what they want. And you get to, like, watch the person, like, flip it and make it like you're at Benihana. You know, it's a good time.
Yeah.
So those are both out on Junction Road.
And it sounds like over on Odana, there's a new Mediterranean restaurant.
Yeah, I'm excited about this place. It looks like Kebab is what it's called. Kebabe. And it's got a lot of the classic Mediterranean stuff. So, like, the Adana kebab, chicken shawarma, falafel, gyros, you know, all different kinds of kebabs. But they have something called lahmacun, I think is how you pronounce it. It's like a Turkish pizza. So it's like a thin flatbread and it's like chopped meat and herbs. And inside of that with like a little bit of a sauce. It's so delicious. I had it at Balkan Treat Box in St. Louis and I was like, oh my gosh, I love this. I want to find a place that has it. Then for a while there was like a cart outside of Fresh Mart that was doing it and now they have closed. So this place is bringing it back. They're also doing some fun like pilafs, you know, like rice dishes with lots of stuff in them. And then Aryan, which is this like refreshing salted yogurt drink, kind of fun, different texture. So this seems very fun to me. And I have not been out there yet, but I would really love to.
And also like world cultures who need our dairy state, okay?
Yeah. Right?
It's and what's the beautiful word that you said? How do you spell that? So if folks want to look it up, because now I'm intrigued. Color me intrigued.
For sure. Lahmacun. Lahmacun.
Lahmacun. Beautiful. If we're saying it wrong, let us know and we'll correct next time, but it's fun to say it.
We all need to just go eat it, you know?
You know what fall in Wisconsin's like. 1 minute it's sunny and 60 degrees, the next you're scraping your windshield in the dark. Every year, someone gets caught by the first freeze. This year, don't let it be you. Think about it. Your furnace hasn't run in months. You flip the switch one night and instead of heat, you get a clunk. The dread, not another thing to do. And now you're on the waiting list with everyone else. That's why Cardinal Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electric is running an early bird furnace tune-up special. It's $134 if you book before September 30th. A small price to avoid a cold, cranky house and a panicked $1,000 repair later. You're not just booking a tune-up, you're buying peace of mind before the chaos hits. Because smart homeowners, they prepare when the leaves fall, not when the snow does. Head to cardinalservice.com to schedule online now. Beat the freeze, sleep better, stay warm.
Learning a new language opens the door to new friends, new cultures, maybe even a whole new life. So why not start that journey today? I'm CityCast CEO David Plotz, and I'm learning Spanish with Babbel. Babbel's conversation-based technique quickly teaches you useful words and phrases about the things you actually talk about in the real world. I've been practicing my Spanish with Babbel's AI conversation partner. I can choose my conversation topic and have a real-time dialogue. It's great at helping me think on my feet, and it's improving my pronunciation. Also, it's really easy to do anytime on my phone using Babbel's excellent mobile app. It's just one of the many fantastic Babbel tools for learning. Plus, Babbel has a real-time feedback, progress trackers, and handy visualizations, all of which make it really easy to stay motivated to learn. I want you to learn another language. So CityCast is teaming up with Babbel to gift you 55% off subscriptions, but only for our listeners at babbel.com/citycast. Get up to 55% off at babbel.com/citycast. Spelled BABBEL.com/citycast. Babbel.com/citycast. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Hey, it's Rob Thomas here, the newsletter editor for CityCast Madison. At CityCast Madison, our mission is simple. We strive to make our listeners more engaged neighbors because we believe that better neighbors make better cities. Every day we bring you the local stories, conversations, and tips that help you feel more connected to Madison and to the people and places that make it feel like home. When you become a CityCast Madison neighbor, you're investing in that mission. Your support allows us to keep covering the local issues that matter most to our communities and highlight the stories that make this city shine. Plus, CityCast Madison neighbors get great benefits, like ad-free podcast episodes, a weekly email rounding up a full week's worth of curated local events, invitations to members-only special events, and more. Sign up today for $10 a month or $100 a year at membership.citycast.fm. Join the neighborhood. That's membership.citycast.fm.
You know, eating food in the Madison area brings me joy. Just this week, I ate at Sardine for dinner, Hank's Burgers and Fish Fry for dinner, and last weekend, La Choza del Viejo did grace my table. It gives me a sense of community to support local industry workers that I love, and I feel like I'm helping the local economy and my own well-being with this food joy. Y'all, I get to talk about all of these local restaurants that bring Madison joy on the podcast on a regular basis because CityCast is different from the doom and gloom of other local and national outlets. Delight is in our DNA. So to the end of contributing to bringing you that dose of joy in your cup, will you be our neighbor? If you would be interested in joining our neighborhood program, it would mean the most. Support from CityCast Madison neighbors allows us to not only inform our community on important local issues, but also to take delight in what's great about living here, like our food scene. You can support this show for just $10 a month or $100 a year by going to membership.citycast.fm. Help keep this joy shining through your earbuds, speakers, and screens for years to come. Join us at membership.citycast.fm. We're going to move to Northside now. There are two spots that you and I have talked about briefly in past shows, but what can you tell me about Little Tibet Market and Cafe's expansion and Dreamy Teasy?
So Little Tibet opened at the end of July in the Northgate Shopping Center. They are expanding from their location on East Johnson. And they have, it's mainly about the momos. It's mainly about all the lovely dumplings that they have that are stuffed with wonderful things, right? So there's meat ones and then there's a vegetarian one too. They have them pan fried, they have them spicy. They have also samosas and lentil soups and curry and peri-peri fries. So this is a fun spot because it's a market and a place where you can go and pick up some food as well. And I always love that because I have a tendency to shop hungry, which you're not supposed to do. But I always seem to. So I'm excited for them to have expanded. That they are just the nicest people. They're always so lovely to talk to. And Dreamy Teasy is fun. So our reporter Ashley went there earlier this summer. They opened in July. So she's doing basically all the foods that her kids love, inspired by Hmong, Vietnamese, Lao, and Thai cuisine. So barbecue pork and sticky rice and Thai fried chicken and pho, egg rolls and curry and my favorite sandwich banh mi. And it's just really fun. She's open kind of funky hours. That's a theme with some of the new openings that we've seen this year. There have been several, Cafe Mimi was another one on the Near West that had some kind of funky hours. Sap, which we'll talk about in a minute, has some funky hours. But Dreamy Teasy is open from 10 to 8, but there's this break between 2:30 and 4 where she's making bread. So it's just, I think that's one where you want to make sure you look and see when are they actually open when you can swing by. But it looks like a kind of fun, swing by, pick up some yummy stuff for dinner or pick up something quick for lunch. And a great addition again to the North Side.
Yeah, really excited about that one. And yeah, with the hours, the sort of interstitial getting your business off the ground and having everything you need with your lifestyle. And, we're rooting for her and we're rooting for everyone. But it was really exciting to read that piece from Ashley and kind of hear a little bit about her story as a mom and being I'm going in, I'm doing my dream, it's my time, it's my turn. And their family's let's go, we're supporting it. Yeah. And so let's actually head over to the east side and talk about Sap over on Willie Street. That's a new spot from a family that has been feeding Madison for years. What's going on there?
Yeah, so this is a scion of the Lao Zhang family, basically. The owner's siblings run Lao Zhang on Atwood. And Cern Sap opened earlier this summer. It's open Monday to Saturday, and they're open 10 to 2:30, which is kind of funky, as I said. They're doing strictly noodles Saturdays. So they're doing like vermicelli and coconut broth and pho and cow soy and just delicious, wonderful Lao-inspired kinds of things. My good friend is a restaurant critic over at Isthmus and has been working on a review. So, check out Isthmus because media is small. All boats rise.
And we talked to them yesterday on the show.
Amazing. They're great. So much love. I can't wait to sort of hear more detail about the kind of food that they're doing over there. Because again, it's a little bit challenging to like make sure that you can find the time during the window that they're open, especially if you work. So I think, finding out like, okay, here's the thing that I absolutely need to get from this place is so key.
Mm-hmm. And for those, you'll see it if you want to look it up, Cern Sap, SERNSAPP. Love when something just crushes and they expand. That Lao food all day.
All the places that we're mentioning today in this episode, these are all not only in the story that we'll have up on captimes.com, but also there's a map. And you can take a look at the map and see where these things are.
I'm glad we're getting people know about it now. It's for an adventure, and we're doing our adventure on the pod, going from place to place. So we've done downtown, west, north, and east. Let's talk about the places that move. We're talking food carts.
Yeah.
There are a number of new ones there you mentioned at the top. So what's been popping around in that space?
So Canto Fiesta is one that we wrote about earlier this summer. That is a Filipino food cart doing lumpia, which are like those little cigar-shaped spring rolls, the crunchy ones. They're also doing like pancit, which is noodles, and adobo. They catered an event that I was at in August, and it was so delicious, and they are so lovely. They're so nice, very fun. Canto Fiesta's been popping up at the Hub a lot.
Over on South Park Street?
Yeah, over on South Park Street. They were also at Taste of Madison, so if you saw them there. Crepe UW is one of the city's new food carts, and Crepe UW has been at the Old Brick Beer Garden serving crepes. So crepes, I don't know, I'm Midwestern. Nutella, strawberries, bananas, brownies. There's like ice cream on them. There's chocolate and caramel. Like I think there was like one savory one that they were doing, but they were mostly sweet. So that's kind of fun. They're brand new, just started like a month or two ago. There's a new Momo food cart called Aha Momos, and that is at 1025 West Johnson. It's at UW Madison, like on campus. And they're making dumplings, they say, from scratch every day. Beef, chicken, veggie varieties. There's chow mein. And then they're just vending 10 a.m. to 3 on weekdays, like serving campus.
That's a great place to be. That's a great place to be.
And the other food cart that I really want to mention, so Madison Magazine just did a nice piece about them. It's called Pota Madre. And Beck had flagged this when she came back from Norway because they're a Norwegian food cart doing like baked potatoes topped with delicious things.
We like potatoes here.
Right? I feel like it's kind of perfect. I'm delighted by this. They have like fun names for them. The Norwegian cowboy is a baked potato that has bacon, cheese, corn, red onion, cowboy butter, one word, cowboy butter, and mama sauce, which is made by my mama in Norway, or according to the menu. They park it outside a former hardware store in Stoughton that, so far as I can tell, is closed. But they're there from like 11:30 to 8. So like a good long chunk of time that this food cart is vending from Wednesday to Saturday. And it's delicious baked potatoes. And if I lived anywhere near there, I feel like I would be there all the time. That sounds wonderful.
I'm trying to picture a Norwegian cowboy, and
I know.
I'll just have to go. It's very high on my list to go to Norway. So
Yes.
I don't know if it's an ode to liking cowboys of the American West or what their cowboys are like, but that sounds really awesome. Well, let's look ahead for what is soon to come to our scene, because there's lots of new stuff and stuff brewing, right? So what's coming to Madison, Lindsay?
Oh my gosh, so many fun new things are coming. There's it's called Kamaria, I believe, Yemeni coffee company. And I dropped them a line the other day to ask, like, when are you opening? Because my husband works right next door at Madison Ballet on Odana and said he saw them moving in their fridges. I was like, okay, so that's coming soon.
You've got eyes and ears all on the ground,
I
Lizzie.
mean, yeah. Just if you see something, say something to me specifically. But Kamaria, so Yemeni coffee is this trend. Like cafes are opening across the country. Yemen is apparently one of the birthplaces of coffee in the world. But it's been incredibly difficult to get coffee from there because there's a lot of strife there, right? But these cafes are, they're beautiful. I was looking at some other ones in other cities. There is one from this same company that's in, I want to say Greendale in Wisconsin, over near Milwaukee. I may have that name wrong, so forgive me if I do. But there's another one. And so this is the second one in Wisconsin from this specific company that roasts their beans in Dearborn, Michigan. But they have like beautiful bakery, and the designs of the place are really lovely. So that's going to be really, really cool on Odana on the west side. Taj Indian Cuisine is coming back after having to close a few years ago. They're going to come back on Park Street. They should be open like any week here now. I did email them to see if they had an update, but they're coming soon. That's going to be an Indian place with a bar. That's going to be fun. Park Street, great place for that. Osteria Novella was one of the more exciting stories that I wrote these past few months. Giovanni Novella is the chef at Bar Corallini, and he is sort of having a soft break from Food Fight. He'll still be a consultant and will be overseeing that menu at Bar Corallini, but he is also now opening his own place in the former Novanta location on University in some apartment. I think it's in some apartment buildings out there.
Good for him. That Bar Corallini is really quite good.
It's quite lovely. I think it's the strongest restaurant that Food Fight has, in my opinion. Everybody can be different, of course.
I'll plead the fifth, but it's one of my favorite restaurants, so I'll just say that.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I love that. So that's going to be really exciting. He really wants it to be more coastal cuisine. So that'll be cool. I'm excited for that. Stella's Bakery is opening a new spot in like the Regent neighborhood. It's going to be like a bakery and cafe. So they will be, I think, closing their other location, which I believe is like on the south side, and opening there. That is a story, that bakery opening, I have heard whispers about for like a year and a half, 2 years. I went back into my email, and I think I emailed about it like literally like 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, and was like, hey, any updates? So I had been like low key trying to follow it. And then I think the State Journal just got there first, which props to Samara. She does great work. But I was like, oh, I really wanted that story too, because that's very cool. And I'm excited to see that bakery is opening. They're going to have like a little patio. It's going to be real cute.
Famous hot, spicy cheese bread.
Yes, spicy cheese bread for sure. Union Corners Tavern is a project from the Rear Steakhouse people. Are opening more of a tavern style place where Touch of Ukraine used to be over on the east side. So that'll be a new like pub tavern. We love our taverns. The most exciting things, I think, there are 3 of them, besides Osteria Novella, which is obviously very exciting. I am really excited for Balau, which is the new bar coming from Mahan, right across the way. They hope to be open by late October, if all goes well, and they said it's a very rough estimate. So keep an eye on their Instagram to see any updates on that. I am really intrigued and excited about this One Social Food Hall that's over on East Wilson. That is that new construction right across from, where Papavero is downtown. They have 7 vendors going in that food hall. Some of them are like Real Seafood Company is a restaurant where I actually had my rehearsal dinner for my wedding because I'm from Toledo, Ohio, and these are all Ann Arbor-based businesses. Several of them, 3 of them are from Ann Arbor, which is very close to Toledo. So there's going to be like a wing place called Casey's. There's an Italian place that's going in there too called Palio, Palio. And then the Ha Long Bay Little Palace family is going in to have like a fast casual style of Vietnamese style food. And then one of the partners in Senor Machetes is going to be opening Senora Machetes.
That's right.
Yeah. So that's really cute. So that's a whole food hall. The State Journal had a story about it, which was great. And there are 2 more spots, I think, that are still open in the food hall. But it's on the bottom level of that 14-story apartment building it's like almost done. And there's going to be a steakhouse in there called One Prime. There's going to be a chic, intimate cocktail lounge and speakeasy called Blue Jack. So it just fun. So that's a huge development. It's really exciting. It's right downtown. I'm really excited about that. And the third thing that I'm really excited about is actually in New Glarus, and it's called the Cantor Inn. And this is going to be like destination. I bet, like I'm predicting now, this is a restaurant that will be in Bon Appetit. This is a restaurant that will be a destination for people from Chicago and from Milwaukee and obviously from Madison. But I'm really excited about Cantor Inn. I think it's going to be absolutely gorgeous. It's John Nodler and Sam Kincaid. They have incredible culinary bona fides from both restaurants here, but also in Philadelphia, where they kind of made their name. They're going to like kind of lean in a little bit to New Glarus' Swiss heritage and have kind of an Alpine-leaning wine list. They're going to have kind of casual Sunday dinners where you go and you get like a choice of a salad or a soup, and then you can have like fish fry or prime rib or roast chicken, and then you can have, you know, one of the beautiful desserts that Sam makes because she's a pastry chef. So that's really, really cool and very exciting. That's just, it's going to be a really beautiful restaurant, and I cannot wait to see. It's supposed to open like this coming weekend, like soft opening, and then I think more opening in October, but definitely double check on that because every time a restaurant makes an estimate for when it's going to open, it always ends up being later.
Yeah. And I have to say, definitely going to talk to them on this podcast. I used to work with John. So at Merchant, that was like, you know, back in 2011, 2010, something like that. But him and his wife, Sam, were just the sweetest people. And the food was off the charts good. Sam would come in and read books at the bar and like know that she's a pastry chef. Like they're a power couple, and I 170,000% agree. Like they're gonna get written up. They will be noted. They're gonna be bringing some good stuff to New Glarus.
I'm really excited for that restaurant. The other thing I wanted to just really quick mention, I think more than ever, Madison is picking up on trends more quickly than we ever used to. So things like stuffed bagels, which is opening in Stoughton, things like that Dubai chocolate, things like Indian and Italian food together. Like I feel like we're seeing more and more trends come here more quickly. I just heard about Red Sushi downtown is going to be starting this ramen pop-up. So we're going to have ramen downtown. Very exciting. I think it's called Blackjack Ramen. So keep an eye on Blackjack Ramen. These kinds of things are coming here faster. So there's so much to discover. There's so much to learn. Subscribe to the Quarter Table newsletter if you want updates every single week. We always keep updating. But I think there's so much to cover still. And it's really exciting. It's an exciting time to eat here.
It's an exciting time to eat here. And it's interesting to be keeping track of the city's growth. That is something that, you know, I love to hear that we're starting to catch up to the coast by a couple of years, you know, and really bring in the stuff. Well, Lindsay, there's so many other spots, including, you know, our neighbors in the suburbs where folks have been opening. My favorite coffee shop recently is Java Abilities. Got a chance to talk with Tim McDonald, one of the co-owners on the podcast. So send people there. But, you know, we also need to send folks to your write-up with all of the information that you shared, like people can find the names and also the names of the restaurants and places that are to open that we didn't get to. So, Lindsay, thank you as always for coming on and giving us the scoop. And folks should be following you, and they should be connected with your newsletter and all of the things.
Thank you so much for having me. This is always so much fun.
That's Lindsay Christians, food and culture editor at the Cap Times. That's all for today here on CityCast Madison. I'm your host, Bianca Martin. Don't forget, you can support the show and get great perks by becoming a CityCast Madison neighbor at membership.citycast.fm. I want to give a big shout out and thank you to our newest members, Randy and Carolyn L. They said this about joining, quote, "We moved to the area 3 years ago, and from the very first day, I started listening to CityCast. It's been such a great source of information for me. I've picked up so much about the Madison area and always stay in the loop with upcoming events. I really look forward to tuning in each day. We're so glad to have you tuning in. Thank you for joining the CityCast Madison neighborhood, because as we've said, neighbors make Madison. You can join our neighborhood if you're out there listening and you haven't yet, and get great perks by becoming a CityCast Madison neighbor. Just head to membership.citycast.fm. And hey, if you enjoyed today's show, want to share this episode with Your neighbor who's always down to try a new restaurant. I hope you have neighbors like that, and if not, start meeting them. All right, we'll be back tomorrow morning with more stories from around the city. Until then, take good care.